pool is flat or curved?
It's level.
So flat, not curving. It's not curving.
Okay, can we please... There's a difference between the word level and flat.
Level doesn't mean curved.
No, it doesn't.
Okay, great. So it's not curved. Well, if you don't like the word flat, that's fine. That's fine. Look, we won't say that since the word flat triggers you. We won't say the word flat. We'll say level. That's fine. It's not curved in the bathtub or the swimming pool. Then we go to a pond. Is the pond curved? Yes or no?
No.
Cool. Then we go a little bit larger. How about like a lake? Is the lake curved or no?
It depends how big the lake is.
Okay, so at what's the minimum amount, like, for size of a lake where it will curve? What's the minimum?
I don't know the measurements right now.
So how do you know it depends on the size if you don't know?
Well, if you take Lake Michigan, it's a very big lake.
Yeah.
I would say, let me just get up a picture of Lake Michigan so I can get a reference. I'm not from America.
You're walking into a trap. Just so you know, you're walking right into a trap. But let's keep going.
I probably am. You guys you're gods.
You definitely are. This is great.
Can I say my main point before I walk into it? It doesn't curve. It conforms to the shape of the Earth's surface because of gravity. You're not going to see a bulge of water that just curves. It just conforms and it stays level.
Okay. Let's end it here.
Let's end it there, because that's not my argument, bro. That's the other guy's argument. Can I make my claim?
Okay.
The Earth's surface because of gravity. You're not going to see a bulge of water that just curves. It just conforms and it stays level.
Okay. Let's end it here.
Because of gravity, you're not going to see a bulge of water that just curves. It just conforms and it stays level. Because of gravity, you're not going to see a bulge of water that just curves. It just conforms and it stays level. Conforms to the shape of the Earth's surface because of gravity. You're not going to see a bulge of water that just curves. It just conforms and it stays level.
Okay. Let's end it here.
Let's end it there, because that's not my argument, bro. That's the other guy's argument. Can I make my claim?
Yeah. Well, we still need to, like, you're go ahead, bro, because you're basically saying that only certain bodies of water are curving. We haven't really got to that point yet, but whatever.
Okay. So my claim is, I talked about this before, but I got shut down because all you guys want to talk about is fucking measurements.
Yeah, well,
there's no societal or economical benefit to.
Oh, here we go, bro. No, fuck all that. Fuck all that. It doesn't matter, like, but the society, why would they lie? If the water is flat, the Earth is flat, bro. It's over. It doesn't matter. Like,
okay.
I would say that all bodies of water behave the same. All of them. They're all flat. Like every, even the swimming pool, the bathtub, the pond, the lake, the ocean, flat. Level, whatever you want to call it. If you have preferred pronouns, we'll use them.
Is
but
being
level,
that's just the science,
level doesn't mean curve. Level does not mean curve. Hold on, Yabble. Hold on. Level does not mean curve. Never.
On a curved Earth, it does.
Well, we're not on a curved Earth. All the water's flat and level.
Level means
what's your argument for that?
The direction of gravity.
No, it doesn't.
And do you know what the direction of gravity? Yes, it is. Yes, it does. So
no, it doesn't.
And do you know what the direction of gravity is? The center of the Earth. Hence,
you just agreed. Hold on. There's no center of the Earth, by the way. That hasn't been established.
Oh, of course, there's not. There's not.
And that's never been established. Not by you. Not by anyone. Just saying there's a center of the Earth doesn't mean there is. That's lore. If the Earth is a globe, which it's not. All the water is flat, so it can't be a globe.
It's a Blake spheroid. Well, then
no, that hasn't been established.
It's been established for 25.
It's not been established. Not you can establish it in this call. You just walked us through how all the water's flat.
Sorry, not even 24.
Hey, BMan, at what distance do things start to go over the curve? What distance?
At what distance?
Yeah, what's the distance to that horizon that's causing
The
things
distance
to be
to the
obscured?
horizon.
Uh,
What is the distance to the horizon, Google? Please tell me.
You're walking into another trap.
Are you talking about over water?
sure. The distance where ships are supposed to disappear.
Miles or kilometers? What's your preferred?
Miles.
Okay, well, roughly 3 miles, but it just depends on where you're standing. It depends. Like if you go up higher, you can see beyond the horizon.
Right. So that what observer height is that you get 3 miles? 6 feet.
Sea level.
6 feet. It's actually 6 feet.
Okay.
Okay. So 6 feet. Let's just say, at 1 foot observer's height, that's 1.22 miles. After that, things need to be disappearing behind curve. Okay?
Understood.
All right. So when you see a ship disappear bottom up, and you take a camera and use some analog zoom, and it comes right back up, and you see a horizon behind it that's as far as 10 miles, that completely destroys the radius of being 3959.
I'm sorry, you said use a camera.
Yeah.
So if
Or
we were to zoom
telescope,
in on
whatever.
the ship, yeah.
Yeah, you see the horizon's actually further away, and the ship is in complete view.
Yeah, that's because cameras use light, and that's because of refraction that you can see that ship.
What's refraction?
Atmospheric refraction. That's whenever the light bends, and
I didn't ask you to add on to refraction. I said, what is the definition of refraction?
atmospheric refraction.
No. Refraction. Stop adding atmosphere to it. What's
The bending
refraction?
of light as it passes from one medium to another one.
Between two mediums causes the light to bend. So when you're looking at that ship 1.22 miles away, where's the boundary between the change of that light angle? That's atmospheric refraction. Atmospheric refraction is pseudo refraction. There's no
It's pseudo
change from
refraction.
one
What do you
medium
mean
to
by pseudo
another.
refraction?
It's not refraction.
And how is it not
You're just-
refraction?
Because you're not going from one medium to another. There's no boundary where light is bending when it goes through.
You are going from
That's the
one
definition.
medium to another.
No, you're going through air. There's some changes in temperature here and there, and that's what you can get some of that, and you can get mirages. But you're not getting a standard
Water,
refraction at
that's
7
two
over
mediums.
6.
Then the
At
light
7 over
bends.
6 R. Just a perfect curved refraction. It doesn't happen that way.
You're just saying
At a
words.
standard rate of the Earth's curvature.
Continue.
Yeah, you're not seeing too far because of refraction. Light is not bending at a standard rate of 7 over 6 times the radius of the Earth. It requires two mediums and a boundary between them.
There is evidence that will change our mind. Evidence that will change our mind will be drop over curve, measuring the drop over curvature of the Earth.
Yep, I'm sure if we measured the drop of curvature, you guys would still find a way to disprove that.
I was asking the guy yesterday, how would you explain the stars in the solar system? If you're driving to the southern hemisphere, you won't see the North Star Polaris anymore.
The stars in the solar system. Holy shit! Where do you even start with this? What a hot mess. Well, your solar system is only supposed to have one star.
Somebody else to
The
answer.
solar
I already
system
heard
is
your
only
rebuttal.
supposed to have one star. Also, it doesn't exist unless you can prove a solar system.
Bro, what?
What solar system, bro?
The stars don't exist and other galaxies don't exist?
No, that's
really
not
what
what
you
he's
heard?
saying.
Is that really what you heard? Is your listening
You
comprehension?
said it doesn't exist. That's what you said.
What did I say?
You said that solar systems don't exist. You said that.
There you go.
Yeah. And solar systems are in galaxies. Like, what are you talking about?
Okay, you don't need to go into your fantasy. You see the stuff in the sky, you don't have to start inserting your fantasy ideas about what it is. Just take it at face value.
So you don't think stars and other stuff like that are real? You think that's just like fake or something?
No. Nobody said that. If that's what I wanted to say, I would have said, bro,
Well,
stars aren't real.
what are you assuming? Like, what are you getting at?
Holy crap, dude. If I wanted to say stars aren't real, I would have just said that.
Well, bro, like stars are in solar systems, and you said that doesn't exist. So, like,
solar system. So you're on a planet revolving a star. Show me one thing that revolves a star.
like Mars and the planet we're currently on right now.
You saw Mars go around the sun, dude.
Yeah, planets revolve around the sun. Yes, correct.
Okay, show us the observation of that.
I mean, literally, like multiple scientists back in the day have proved that multiple times. Even the Aztecs have even in the Egyptians.
Yeah, okay, all right. Cite the Aztecs proving it then.
I mean, I can't prove it to you. I'm not a fucking scientist and shit.
This is what you do every single time. You just spew some fucking gospel that you can't.
This is what you do every time, bro. You tell me to prove everything, bro. Like, you want me to write down an exact equation?
I'm just your average Joe. I'm not a scientist. I can't defend any of this shit that I just believe in and don't know why. Well, then don't say it. That's the whole point of this room, is to get you to validate these claims.
What specific evidence would you need in order for me to prove you wrong? Like, what actual evidence would you need?
Okay, so now you got to ask me what I would need. So you're bargaining. You're bargaining with me now?
Well, I mean, yeah, you're delusional about everything anybody tells you, so I'm just trying to figure out what would you...
It's every single time it goes like this. You make a claim you can't verify. I ask you what the verification or evidence is.
I tell you, I literally told you.
Tons of scientists... Shut up, dude. Stop talking over me. Fuck. Shut the fuck up until I'm done. Yeah, I ask you, what's the evidence for that? You go, I don't know. I'm not a scientist. How should I know? Okay, then why say it?
I told you. The Aztecs, and even literally almost every person in time has proved that we revolve around the sun.
Oh, every person in time, except for you.
Do you even think that Mars and Venus and other planets even exist? Like,
okay, show us the proof then that anything in the sky revolves around the sun.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think Mars and other planets exist besides
Earth? So that was a pretty obvious dodge. So you don't have that proof.
I'm not dodging it. I'm not dodging it. I'm asking.
You're asking a question instead of answering mine. So you're dodging it. Obviously.
You haven't answered any of my questions yet.
Your question is a deflection from what I just asked you. You made the claim that you have planets.
I asked you before.
Now you're going to start talking over top of me again. No. Dude, you made the claim stuff in the sky is going around the sun. Just prove it.
You don't actually listen to what I tell you. You just think of something to rebuttal me with. You don't listen.
Okay, how would I be able to do that if I didn't listen? Anyway, prove that something in the sky went around the sun. Take Mars. Show us that it's going around the sun.
Prove it. But what about prove that Mars revolves around the sun? Like I said, I'm not an astrologer, so I can't really prove that.
Okay, then stop claiming it, dude.
Yeah, man, this is stupid.
Stupid. Okay.
It's stupid. Yeah, you keep making this claim you can't defend, and then
let me ask you this:
part where you go, I can't defend it.
Mars even exists?
Yeah, Mars obviously exists.
Oh, okay, prove it.
Okay, go outside and look at it. The light in the sky is Mars.
Okay, so you're proving yourself wrong. You're proving yourself wrong with your own saying. You said the solar system doesn't exist, and then you said, "Oh," and then I told you a way to prove it, and you just said, "Go look at it." So, well, there you go. Go look at the stars and at the solar system right now.
So Mars exists.
You just proved yourself wrong. Thank you.
So Mars exists, therefore Mars goes around the sun.
Yeah, you can go look at it. Go stand outside for a full year, and you can prove yourself wrong. There you go.
I don't see Mars going around the sun. I can see Mars. I don't see Mars going around the sun. Now what?
If you stand there long enough, you will.
Okay, you go do that then, because I've never seen that. I've stood there as long as I could. I stood there all night, looked at Mars, never saw it.
You haven't done it yet.
Saw Mars. Never
You
saw
haven't
the
done it
sun
yet.
at the same time as I saw Mars, so how would I see it going around the sun?
Because you haven't done it yet. You haven't experiment. You haven't done the experiment
Have you
yet.
seen Mars at the same time as you've seen the sun?
I don't know. I don't have a telescope, so.
Okay, so you haven't done this. So again, you're making baseless claims.
Again, you haven't either. So, boom,
okay.
mic drop.
Mike, do you think that's a mic drop for you?
It is.
Well, you didn't show that Mars went around the sun, so I don't know why.
Okay, and you didn't prove to me that Mars was real, so.
You just go outside and look at it.
Yeah, but how do I know that's Mars? How do I know that's just not like a light in the sky or whatever else? How do you know? How do I know that? How do I know that's planet Mars?
It's the light in the sky that they named Mars. A planet, as in a wandering star.
How do I know that's an actual planet, or instead of just like a robot that's out there? How do I know?
What's a planet?
How do I know that's not a robot just sitting in the sky? How do I know that's the?
I don't know. I don't know what it is besides a light that doesn't move the constellations that they call planets, and that one in particular they call Mars. Now what?
Bro, you are so lost. It's crazy.
On what?
On what? I said you're lost.
Yeah, on what?
Just reality.
Okay, where? What part of it did I get wrong?
Everything, dude.
Okay,
you probably don't even think the grass is green, dude. Like.
Okay, yeah, that's nonsense. That's a nice hallucination.
It is nonsense. That's how you think.
Yeah, could you keep your schizoid ramblings contained to a minimum at least for now, and just try to focus on the matters at hand? So you can't show that anything in the sky goes around the sun. So you can't validate any claim of the solar
system doesn't exist. But then again, you just say that Mars is real because you can just go look at it. Like.
Yeah, of course you can. Yeah, it's right there. It's
what about?
It's self-evident that grass is green.
You can prove yourself wrong and see that the Mars revolved around the sun by simply looking through a telescope. There you go.
Really? Okay, now you're back to this shit again. Except we asked you about that, and you haven't seen Mars go around the sun. So why are you just respawning on this claim?
All this. What about all the scientists that use telescopes to prove all these?
I gotta be a scientist to point a telescope in the sky and look at something now.
You don't. You can do it yourself, but you haven't yet. That's why you haven't. Because
you don't know. Okay, you don't know what I. Shut up, dude. You don't know what I have and haven't done. Why don't you cite one of these so-called scientists who demonstrated that Mars went around the sun? Show us their methodology.
There's bro. Like, what are you talking about? Just use the internet. Use your phone you're currently on right now. Like, what are you talking about?
Your claim. So I'm gonna let you use the internet to back it up. Yeah.
Dude. I don't
do your legwork for you.
You just gotta get out.
You make a claim. That's not incumbent on me.
In the current day and age.
It's not incumbent on me to go to Google and start backing up your claim.
How old are you, bro? Are you a grown man?
Irrelevant.
Like this, bro?
Yeah, you're spiraling.
Are you a grown man who thinks like this?
That's off topic. You're spiraling. You don't need to ask me that. You made another goofball claim earlier. You said that Earth was a planet going around the sun. Can you show that Earth is in motion?
Yeah. The Earth is in motion?
Yeah, can you show that? With measurement. Because I don't experience any motion of the Earth. So it can't be going around the sun if it ain't moving. So show it to me.
I mean, you got gravity. There you go.
Okay, you got gravity. Okay, where do I even begin with that? That doesn't tell me. That statement alone, you think, tells me that the Earth is in motion?
I mean, technically, like in space, there's not really any motion because we're on like a plane.
You need to get. Now there's no motion. Okay, you need to get your head checked, dude.
You're the one. You're the one who brought up motion. Like, what are you talking about?
No, you brought it up. You said the Earth is in motion around the sun.
Good evening, gentlemen.
Got that?
I said the Earth revolves around the sun. I didn't mention motion.
So revolution. It's revolving. That's not motion.
It's revolving around the sun. Correct.
So that's not motion.
That's why we have days and years and stuff like that, bro. 1 year is a year is
you're getting carried away with your fucking gospel again, dude. Pump the brakes. Is that not motion? Something revolving.
1 year is one rotation around the sun. That's how we track days, bro.
Gospel. He's chanting his religion now. All I asked you is if revolution is motion, yes or no?
Bro, it doesn't got a clock.
Why are you chanting your gospel, your religion at me? Just tell me if revolution is motion.
I'm not religious. I'm an atheist.
Okay, I don't care. Tell me if
you're the one who's religious, bro. People who think there's a flat Earth, bro.
Why are you having so much trouble answering?
You're the religious, bro.
Revolution is not motion. Something revolving around something. That doesn't mean it's moving.
It's moving. I mean, yeah, it's moving.
Okay, so that's motion then. So show that the Earth is in motion, at least, for absolute starters.
Okay. I'll show you.
Because if it's not, then it ain't revolving the sun, is it?
Okay, so proof of Earth's rotation is called Foucault pendulum, right? How it works, it's a swinging pendulum appears to change direction over time. In reality, it's Earth's rotating beneath it. So you can go in museums and science centers have one, etc. There you go.
Yeah. Okay.
You also have a day and night cycle. So only a rotating Earth.
No, I don't need to gish gallop. Okay, the pendulum now. Show us the data. Show us what was observed of the pendulum.
Bro, you're so delusional that any proof anybody gives you, you just keep. You're like a little kid. He's
I
like,
haven't shot it down yet. I'm not.
Why? You're a little kid, bro. Your brain hasn't developed yet, bro. You're still like an immature little boy.
Okay, so maybe your brain hasn't developed because you just shit and run. You shit that pendulum claim, and now you're running away from it.
I've said multiple statements, and you're just like, why?
So you're not able to defend the pendulum claim.
You're a delusional little boy, dude. Grow up. Be mature. Grow up, bro. Like you get no bitches. Grow up, right? Please.
Okay, you're spiraling. So you couldn't defend the pendulum claim. All right. Well, we'll bin that. What was next? Oh, you ran away.
I guess he left. Yeah, I was just about to ask about the pendulum, how it was, or it is created. Well,
I wanted to ask him what was observed, actually, but he went nuts. So, I mean, when somebody just chat GPTs their proof of the thing they already believe in for the first time, and then they just onboard whatever it says completely with no question at all, and then they come in here and they have all this scrutiny against what, like, they already experience, water being flat, no motion, etc. It's pretty crazy.
it is.
He just runs away.
To lie to somebody about the shape of something or the form of something or the color of something, and they can just go to the thing itself and check it out for themselves, then it doesn't matter what lie you tried to tell them because they figured it out on their own.
Wait, is the sun flat too?
No, he said it's just the Earth.
It's just the
No, I didn't say that. No, it's not necessarily.
All planets are round, but the Earth is not round. It's just flat.
Well, pay attention. Pay attention real quick. Just let's parse this out. A penny is flat and round, right? So round is not mutually exclusive to flat.
What?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yes, dude. A penny. You know what a penny is. You know what a dime is. They are indeed flat.
You're comparing the planet with a penny?
No. What I'm comparing is that something that possesses the quality of round does not mean that it's a globe. It could be round on one plane, like a penny, and flat on another. So when you're saying all the planets are round, what do you mean by that? Why would that have anything to do with the shape or form of the Earth at all?
But what is on the other side of the Earth if it's flat?
Well, let's see. So imagine this. When I am standing on the top of the Earth, it's air, and under my feet is dirt. And I have no idea how far the dirt goes. And I've never been through the dirt to see how far it goes. So how could I possibly answer such a question?
Oh, you could give us the shape.
Dude, why is it that you guys challenge me that I'm screwing with you for telling you I don't know things that I don't have access to?
Look, can you stop psyoping us? It is so fucking clear. I think we were born yesterday.
Brother, I'm the psyop master, okay?
Look, you got to understand. Whenever somebody says this is the way, but I can't prove it, that's either a Jew coalition or a psyop or both.
No, I never said, dude. I never. Listen, you're messing up because you asked me. Hold on, brother. Hold on. He asked me what's on the other side of the Earth. I said I don't know. Like, what's the problem?
Let's come back to the penny analogy.
The problem is that the Earth is not flat.
A penny has an edge, and we've never found an edge to the Earth, so it's not penny shaped, brother.
Who cares? Never finding an edge and saying it's not penny shaped.
when you
pay
when
attention.
flat earther, they'll say I don't care. That's what they'll say, or who cares?
Yeah, dude.
They don't care about
Stronger. We don't need you
If you don't
interfering,
even know
brother.
the shape, then how can you even call it flat?
Oh, that's simple. That's simple. So water has a certain physics to it. It covers the Earth. Water is what the benchmark of sea level is based against, and it's how we level things, how we use water levels and all these types of things.
Yibble. You still haven't told me
Yeah, dude. It's very simple. If the surface of the Earth is covered in water, then it's flat. The end.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Where's the shape at?
Dude, I don't know the overall shape.
You see how contradictory there is?
That's not, dude. It'd only be contradictory if flat was actually a shape, but flat isn't a shape.
Oh, if you can't even give me a shape,
I know you probably failed geometry in art class. I can tell you what you call it.
I can give you a shape. A shape has a format, not an idea, not a concept.
Yeah,
now, I can give you. You ask me what a triangle is, I'll give you a triangle.
Yeah, so great. I would agree with you that you can describe a triangle as a shape.
But look, you don't understand something.
Can you describe
fundamental?
Yeah, I know. Yeah, I'm missing the part.
If we can't have a shape,
you went to a school that forgot to teach you that flat isn't a shape.
Hear me out. If you can't give me a shape, if you can't give us a shape, then we might well call Earth the retard club because there's no shape to it.
I know, dude. I know. Listen, I know it's hard to understand that a flat isn't actually a shape. I know. Complicated. I get it. You don't know the differences between shapes. You don't know the differences between shapes, colors, and surface properties.
No, I understand a giant lake just floats everywhere. It's fine.
Yep. Well, listen, in Superman 3, I believe, he froze a lake with his breath, and then he picked up the lake and flew it in the sky. And when he was flying that lake across the sky, because he was going to drop it on a fire and put the fire out, the lake that he froze and he was carrying was a flat surface. And the reason why is because water is flat on the surface.
You know what? Listen. Enough of this Yabble. I'll let you win this one. You can put the 1-0 in the chat. I'll join back later.
All right, brother. Keep it spicy.
So, what is understood about gravity is that it's not just the bending of space-time, it's the bending of time that sets things into motion. Because if you just have...
Okay, real quick. The explanation is one thing, but we want the explanation of the demonstration. So if you have a demonstration from where you get the information to explain, then that's what we want. Because explanation about imaginary things that you cannot demonstrate or observe in reality, that's not what we're here for. We want the realist level, the mechanism, the thing that you can describe and explain because you can determine the cause and effect relationships of that mechanism.
Yeah, Alex? Yeah.
Yeah, okay. No one created artificial gravity yet. I cannot give you the demonstration that you want. I'm sorry.
So the explanation of the gravity that you're talking about is based in imaginary land, just something that is not in the real world.
Well, what is understood about gravity is that it's not just the bending of space-time, it's the bending of time that sets things into motion. Because if you just have...
Okay, real quick. The explanation is one thing, but we want the explanation of the demonstration. So if you have a demonstration from where you get the information to explain, then that's what we want. Because explanation about imaginary things that you cannot demonstrate or observe in reality, that's not what we're here for. We want the realist level, the mechanism, the thing that you can describe and explain, because you can determine the cause and effect relationships of that mechanism.
Yeah, Alex. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. No one created artificial gravity yet. I cannot. I cannot give you the demonstration that you want. I'm sorry.
So the explanation of the gravity that you're talking about is based in imaginary land, just something that is not in the real world.
Eh?
Is that what this gravity that you gonna explain is? Just people saying stuff. And you find that in the observable natural world, the demonstrable one, natural world out there in reality? Or is it just words on a textbook like Star Wars? With the
Don't make me
Force.
play Globe
Star
or
Wars.
Astro. Not a good actor.
In case you didn't understand what I said, no one has created artificial gravity yet. So how am I supposed to explain it to you?
That is what gravity is, an artificial thing that doesn't exist. Like it's actually an art. It's a fantasy. The
That's
one that
not
goes
what
with globe,
artificial
right?
gravity means.
The fantasy of the globe. First, you don't have curvature of the Earth, so no globe. And then whatever story is attached to the globe story is gravity term that you don't know what it is. You cannot demonstrate it, show it in reality. That's just mantra of the fantasy. That's just storytelling. Like the Force in Star Wars, like Narnia, and the talking lion. That's what gravity on the globe that doesn't exist is. It's just storytelling. Storytelling. Just think
Can you
about it.
explain? Can you explain time dilation on flat Earth?
Time dilation. Where do you get that from? Where are you observing time dilation that you can ask about phenomena that you're observing?
No. Yeah, time dilation is
the phenomena.
Time dilation is an observable fact.
Where?
It exists. Can you explain that on a flat Earth?
Okay, it exists. Where?
Yes.
You observe the existence of time dilation.
There have been tests done with two clocks, one on a really high tower and one at the bottom.
So a clock, a mechanical object that operates with gears and makes certain movements, is doing gear movement at a lower altitude,
It
and then
wasn't
another one at a higher altitude is doing something mechanical. And you're saying the difference between those two mechanisms is time dilation? The clocks pointing towards then one or the two or the three are at a different rate. You're saying that is what?
Didn't you
Anything
just
else?
explain time dilation is two clocks at different heights run at different rates?
Exactly. That's an observable phenomena. And you saying that it's something else than just the mechanisms of the clock at a different pressure or altitude, like you're saying. It could be something else, so the imaginary thing that doesn't exist.
I was just curious about the explanation. So you're saying that on a flat Earth it would be caused by the pressure difference?
Well, that might be one variable.
But it used 4 cesium beam atomic clocks.
Yeah, I've heard about atomic clocks. Some other people have spoken about it.
In 1971.
Anybody want to touch atomic clocks with the guy? Because you're coming to a conclusion about that there is something that something is what causing the clocks to do something. Like,
it's the decay of an element. That's why they're the most accurate clocks, because elements decay at a specific rate. So I guess he's saying the one they use with cesium.
But is the decay of that, is that affected by the amount of pressure?
Well, it'd be less pressure up high, so.
I mean, I guess if lower pressure affects the decay of radioactive particles, I guess we should put all of the uranium that's still radioactive in Chernobyl inside of some vacuum chamber or something, and see how quickly it decomposes. I guess.
Flat earthers are retarded. Yeah. Go.
Here you go. Here's another one. Steph's up. Grey Goblin. What's up?
Guys. I've been in here so many times. I've been banned so many times. I love you. I enjoy. It's fun to think about. It's not.
So a different
I really work
altitude.
at the National Science Foundation with people who actually work with like all satellites and shit. I guess I don't know the actual mathematics behind how satellites work, but please, come on.
Don't they use helium, the satellites?
Shut up. No, they don't.
They're all
balloon
balloons.
The velocity and gravity. They're fast enough so they don't fall down. So technically, they're always falling. They're just
always falling.
Not falling.
They're always falling.
They're going fast enough around.
They're always falling, but not falling down. They're falling. They're falling sideways.
We have thousands of that retard Elon Musk satellites around the planet.
Right? Yeah, sure we do.
Thousands of them. Why do we suddenly have well, that's a good question. How do you guys what do you think we did to get a bunch of internet traffic?
Have you ever observed quantum levitation?
Well, how do we have internet traffic in Africa? Well, there's never been. There's no.
I don't know. The Earth must be a specific geometric figure, then, I guess, since they have internet in Africa.
I just posted something. If you guys want to look in the thing, it's just a warning for a asteroid that might be coming by Earth. It's the size of 32 George Washingtons. So.
Oh no!
Yeah,
that would pick up in the atmosphere and not be a problem at all. That's nowhere near big enough to be a problem for Earth. What?
Wait, which George Washington? The statue or the actual one?
Right. Is the Mount Rushmore one?
Yeah.
Hello?
Which one?
Bro, I just spent the last hour shitting on people about Israel, Palestine. Let's go. Flat Earth.
Are you pro-Palestine?
Mm-mm.
No, are you pro-Israel?
Generally pro-Israel, because they're first world. They're both kind of shitty. Well, they're both kind of shitty, but only because, as you would assume, both are pretty tired of fucking fighting and pretty angry.
Yeah, well, the Jews are
It's
going to want
because
to have Jew money. So,
well, I'm sure a lot of you believe that. Like, it's funny because Jews are actually really bad at propaganda. Even though I assume some of you think that like they rule the world or whatever.
I googled it, and
our eyes deceive us every day.
You got to add some gay stuff in there. You probably do that with everything.
I do.
Yep.
I googled it, and it says yes, the curvature of the Earth is slightly visible from the commercial airline.
Nice. Well, Google, everything Google says is pretty true. So,
100%. I mean, especially whenever it's sourced properly.
Right, Mr. Google Two Shoes.
Mm-hmm. It's me.
So you gonna go out and check out the curvature of the Earth on an airplane?
No, last time I was on an airplane was like whenever I was a kid. Well, actually, that's why. Teenager. Went to DC. To see the parks.
They say like, does it say specifically in there how high you have to get? Like you can do it in a.
It says altitude is key. The higher you are, the more of the Earth's curvature you see. 35,000 to 42,000.
Really that low? They say.
It says the curvature is subtle.
You can't even see it from 120,000 feet.
So, like, does every camera have like a lens that you think is like capturing that roundness that everyone sees?
Well, curvature and roundness could be two different things because a coin can be round and flat. You know.
Sure. So why do you think the Earth is flat? Because there's like no proof?
I don't think the Earth is a globe. Of course, it's not perfectly flat because it has hills, valleys, ups and downs. But from one end to the other,
yeah.
For all intents and purposes, it's a non-rotating stationary plane.
Non-rotating, so everything's rotating around it?
It appears that way. It appears that things in the sky rotate over us. It appears that way. I'm not making any claims.
Are we the only planet that's
Look, and he's got you. He's already trying to get you to play his game.
Yeah, I know. I'm not playing him.
You gotta ask him. You gotta ask him. It's what do you have that makes you believe in a globe, Mr. TonyOranges?
I think there's video of it on fucking YouTube. What are you talking about? People upload pictures.
YouTube videos. I don't want to clip that. Say that again for me.
YouTube videos. What's wrong
for
with
the
them?
Earth being a ball?
Yeah, but before
do you not think video evidence is credible?
2025, ladies and gentlemen.
Before YouTube, did you think the Earth was a globe?
Yeah.
So videos are credible for you? So
I mean, depending on the source.
Depending on the source. So if I bring you a video of Sasquatch, is that credible enough?
Probably not, because I think I've seen most of those videos, and those are like grainy and like just terrible.
Oh, so you have.
And I don't think he's like.
So you got biases then. Whatever you want to accept as true, then it's true.
No. I mean, there's smarter people than me. Can I not trust the smarter people more than myself?
Which
specific topics?
Yeah, who?
Science.
Ones in white coats.
Well, let's get a name.
White coats?
Maybe we can work our way up to a citation.
I mean, you said scientist. I accidentally cut you off, but it was essentially the same thing, right?
Yeah, he said the same thing that you said mockingly.
I didn't mock him. It was a question. I never heard white coats.
I was mocking.
I'm sorry. I get that mixed up a lot. Sorry.
Oh, you weren't mocking. You're just as dumb as he is. My bad. It's Dumb and Dumber. My mistake. I gave you more credit than you deserved.
I mean, I'm not like I don't want to be confrontational or anything. I'm not.
I'm sorry about that, but I'm just wondering who we're going to defer to here exactly. Who's got the proof of the globe Earth? That's all I want to know. It's just so hard to get.
I just want you to remember, Mr. Heretic, a smart man can be dumb, but a dumb man can never be smart.
Wow, that was really deep.
Okay.
So basically, what you're saying is the government is lying.
No, what I'm saying is, sir, do you have any globe proof?
From the agency that looks at the globe.
Oh my god.
Bro, do you have any way of proving that the Earth is a globe?
Yes, I refer to scientists that tell it's
why? Science deals with cause and effect in the natural world. Why would you ask them? This is geometry. This is measurement. Why wouldn't you bring up like a surveyor or something? Like, what are we doing here?
So a surveyor can look at something and see it's a globe, better than a scientist who would look at something that's globe-like and be like, "Oh."
I just told you it's the wrong fucking category. Scientists, they deal with cause and effect. A surveyor is somebody who's at least going to measure the Earth. So that's more along the lines of probably what you'd be talking about.
Okay.
So I mean, who did that?
What have the latest surveyors said?
Nobody has said anything that amounts to any clear, concrete, substantiated globe proof.
Oh, this is like a thing. Okay.
Well, I mean, I'm asking you for it. You're the guy who still believes. Well, I guess, look, I'm being a bit hostile. I'll dial it back a bit because I was where you were. I was where you are now.
You're going to change me? You're going to turn me?
No, I'm not. I don't care about that. I don't care about that. I want you to turn me. What I'm looking for is the proof that I actually live on a globe, like everybody says.
Okay. I mean, who do you trust? I don't know why, because I don't. If you don't trust the scientists, because they're looking. Hold on a second.
Trust the Earth. Trust the Earth.
If you're okay,
I trust logic.
Can we look at the Earth from space? Okay. Whenever we look at the Earth from space, what do we see?
Okay.
No, not from space, but from very high altitude.
No, I'm asking you. I'm asking you. If we go into space and we look at the Earth, what do we see?
It's a bit of a disingenuous question,
a flat plane, or do we see something that's globe-like?
Because we don't do that. Listen, bro.
What do you mean we don't do that? What do you mean we don't do that?
You and I don't do that. We don't go.
So there is a higher authority. That's why I kind of jumped the gun and asked you about the government, right? So you don't trust the government.
Well, there you go. You and I don't do that. We defer to somebody else who claims that they went to a location that nobody else can go to.
Okay, but whenever they bring back, you don't trust.
Nobody else can be at.
You don't trust the government. You don't trust scientists. You don't trust video evidence. What do you trust?
Empirical verification.
Okay.
Yeah.
So there's no empirical verification from the globe that the Earth is a globe?
Well, I mean, look, can you think of any?
Okay, hold on. No, I mean,
this is my point.
scientists.
Dude, look, I'm not your enemy here. Like, look, you see how
you literally came across as an enemy, so you came very antagonistic.
I know. Sorry about that. It's
I'm high, just trying to fuck around.
Here.
I'm not okay.
We're running a show, but look, I want you to think about something without being your enemy. Think about how you had to take a pause when I asked you, "Can you think of any?" Just think.
Wait, is this on YouTube right now?
Are we live? It is. But the point is, dude, just think about the fact that you had to pause on that when I asked you, "Is there any empirical verification?" You had to go, "Huh? Is there?" Just think about that and follow that rabbit hole for yourself. You don't have to listen to a goddamn word I say or anything. It's not about me preaching any sort of belief to you. Just think about what you already believe.
Well, like what? Okay, so what? Let me ask you just what, because I knew people like you exist, right? And I just never like got the chance to ask, like like, so like what makes you think it's not a globe?
Well, what happened right there, right? I was like,
my pause and like,
yeah, because you don't know, right? And so that's the same for me too. If somebody asked me that, they did a few years ago. And the
I
same
see,
thing
but
happened.
the
I went,
thing,
huh? I went, huh?
we value things differently. I value and trust the government. I value and trust scientists. I value and trust these people, and I don't put a lens on them because I entrust that. I guess my bar is lower for trust than you.
But that's just a belief, though, that you're describing.
Well, isn't what you believe like the Earth is flat plane? Like, isn't that a belief?
No, that's something that's demonstrated. That's empirical.
That the Earth is a flat plane.
Well, water is observably, measurably, practically used as flat, right? Level. Water is the benchmark for
I get you haven't been to space and you haven't seen the Earth as a globe, but like I guess you're correct that for you maybe it's a plane and that's all you can see, and so therefore that's all it is because you don't trust. I mean, like,
isn't that what you see too?
Well, yes, but I understand that whenever I go into plane and I look outside the window, I see a curvature of the Earth. And I understand you're going to say, well, the planes have curvatures and stuff.
Are you sure about that?
Yes. Why isn't Elon Musk a flat earther?
Well, can you show that? The curvature from a plane?
Yes.
You can show that?
I see it. Do you not? I see. Do you not trust what you see?
Well, you're looking at a double paned window for one thing, but I mean, at this point,
so you think there's something on the window that makes me that. Hold on. Let me just back up. You think? Hold on.
All right, go ahead.
Hold on. Okay. You think that whenever I look out a window of a plane, that there's something on the glass, that how the glass is formed or how it's made for the plane, that makes a curve, and so therefore the Earth looks curved.
Yeah.
Whenever I look out,
that would be refraction. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the light is passing through a separate medium.
And let me just put on
let me just distort the image of what you're looking at. But that's look, dude. Me saying that is even granting that you did apparently see a curve, right? I still don't even have that in hand at this point. I'm just granting that claim that you made.
Have you been on a plane?
Yeah, many times. I never saw any sort of curvature of the Earth. It all looked flat. The plane flight felt completely level. It never. There was never any indication that the plane was pitching down.
What windows are you looking at?
Well, hold on. There's never any indication to me on the flight that the plane was pitching down to negotiate some kind of curve or something like that. There was nothing about it that made it feel to me like I was on a globe.
This is actually pretty like. I bet you get people like me all the time in here just biting at the bait.
Hey, listen, buddy. What about people like myself that have been in airplanes and been to North America, South America, many countries, and look out of the window? I never observed the curvature of the Earth. Who's correct there? Who's right? You've seen it. I haven't seen it.
That's what I'm saying. He hasn't seen it either.
Refraction causes a curve. No, Heretic said refraction causes a curve. Now he's saying that there's no curve. Which one is it?
Well, that's literally refraction, though, because the light is passing through separate media. You got a double paned window as well. And if the window is curved and all that. So basically, I did caveat it with I was only granting him his claim that he actually even observed a curve to begin with. So what it was building up to pretty much was, if you did actually see one, is that an optical effect or the physical geometry of the ground?
How do you argue what happens with tides? Why do you think we have tides?
Well, what I would argue is that we did a hard pivot off of the conversation that we were just on, meaning that no conclusive globe proof was found there, and now we're going to start scouring these other topics to see if any can be found there.
Well, okay, well, I apologize if I'm not engaging enough as much as you want me to. I'm just trying to have a conversation with you, bro. But all right.
Before you move away from airplanes, though, there is more information about airplanes before you pivot to something else. The airplane is built to operate and to function practically safely on a flat, motionless Earth. That's the way it's built to actually work. The pilot never takes into account any curvature, any motion of the ground below the aircraft to operate the aircraft.
Yeah, they do. They invoke a globe model to map out where they're going. They don't fly in giant, long circles in the southern hemisphere to get from point A to point B. They take the shortest route.
You might keep some cutting up before you.
Oh, my bad. They definitely do that because in order to navigate, they use the globe. So they do use the globe to safely navigate.
Show it.
You want me to show you flight paths from places within the amount of time that would be impossible on a flat Earth?
Impossible on the flat Earth? What flat Earth? Show me that.
Oh, right. You guys don't even have a model.
Oh, right. He was going to try to straw man us. Nice try.
That's a different guy from the other guy.
I know, it's penguins. Yeah, sorry about that. I was letting him derail. Just shut up, penguins. We're talking to somebody who might have some potential. Yeah, just shut up. We're talking to somebody who might have some hope still.
Are you kidding me, bro? You are I'm literally toying in here with because it's an interesting itch. It's just interesting, and you got some actual pretty good questions. I respect that you're skeptical. I'm curious about what I kind of want to pivot to aliens a little bit. What your thoughts are on those, but we can keep it on flat Earth, I guess.
Well, they don't think space is real, so.
Well, I'll tell you about aliens. When you use aliens from the actual meaning of the word, that's more a legal term for foreigners, people from other lands. So you could be an alien on a country that you weren't born at, right? And
that's a legal term, though. That's different than the term that I'm meaning about.
I'm telling you, look at the etymology of the word alien.
Okay.
And alien means foreigner. That's the actual meaning when you use it.
Are you telling me that, bro? Hold on a second.
Hello, let me finish.
You're getting cringy.
I'm not talking about the meaning of alien.
Nobody cares. This is clearly going nowhere. He wasn't using it in that way. You're trying to force a definition on someone. You can't do that.
So listen, I'm not done. Because in the meaning of the word, you can actually use the word alien in the fictional sense of it, or beings from another world, on another planet.
Okay, beings on another world or another planet.
In a fictional sense of the usage of the word, like the one that you're asking about aliens, because you got it from movies, right? Fiction, Globe Earth, fiction. That's what you're asking about. You're asking about the fictional meaning of the word.
I'm not connecting. No.
In aliens, like in the movies?
Look at my bio. No. It says I suck at debating. I'm not trying to trick you into pivoting and connecting.
That's why you should let me finish my sentence. When you ask about aliens, and I'm giving you the context and the actual meaning of the word and the way it's used in the English language correctly. So then you'll find out that it has different uses in the real is level, in the legal term, right? To talk about foreigners, people from other lands. You can actually find this out. This is the way it's used. Or you can use it in the fictional context for the context that you're asking about. Beings from other worlds or outer space. That's all fiction. That's what I'm trying to tell you.
That was so much for like nothing.
Yeah, what's the guy?
No, that's the actual usage of the word in the English language, and you're saying that's nothing?
Yeah,
dude, we all know alien is a legal term and a term for a fictional being.
Yeah, who cares? Who cares what Penguins has to say? What I want to do is hopefully point out the newcomer. Yeah. Sorry, what's your name again? TonyOranges.
Bro, you're not gonna change my mind to a flat Earth.
Tony, no, that's fine. We don't need to change your mind. No, we don't care about that.
I don't know. If you want me to question everything around me, I'm already a skeptic. Like, I already think...
You're not really, because what you told us is that you just place faith
I'm not
in
a skeptic
institutions.
for
Yeah, but you, dude, every single time I talk, you just start talking over it, dude.
Because
like,
you're talking about me instead of what I think, instead of letting me say
there's a point to it, though. Let me get there.
All right.
Right?
I'm sorry.
Yeah. What you've displayed, basically, all right? Take this with a grain of salt. It's you I'm talking about, so it might be hard to hear it. Whatever, your ego. But you have basically told us outright that it is just a mere belief. You're just placing blind faith in whoever it is that you think is out there that has the superior knowledge to what you do. So you don't actually know for yourself that the Earth is a globe. Just take that, chew on it. You don't have to make any big shifts overnight. Just think about the conversation you had and, the consequences of it.
I look, okay, all right. Okay, so let me just, not that I wasn't honest before, I'm actually always honest, but let me be more like, I guess, I actually respect, well, I do, no, I respect you. I don't believe in what you think. Think it's wrong, but I respect you because we need skeptics, because you're a skeptic, basically, and we need skeptics to question everything, and we should always question everything, right? We should always question our government. We should always question, whether this is that.
Dude,
we should do that. And okay,
that's all I've done is ask you questions, right? That's all I've really done is ask you questions.
Well, yeah. Yes, and I think that's good. I think it's a value. A lot of people just dumbly, blindly do this, and
yeah. So why do you think what you think? I mean, you're entitled to think whatever you want. I'm not going to badger you because you think you want to. You're entitled to. I'm just asking you why you think it, and I think that it's been sort of expositionary. I think it's shown that, at the root of your belief, at what you think it is just a belief.
So you think?
And I don't know. Maybe you want to maintain that. That's your business, but at least we know now that's what it comes down to.
Why haven't people from Blue Origin's Shepard, that spacecraft thing that Blue Origin has that goes up in the well, they say it's space, but it's like a kind of like a measurement of space that people say, okay, this is space. If you go this high, it's space. And they take these tourists up, the Kármán line, yeah. And they take these space tourists up and stuff like that. And why hasn't the tourists been like, oh my god, I don't see a curve. I don't see this. Do you think it's the windows? Do you think they purposefully did that? What do you think?
I don't know. We've seen footage from Blue Origin that shows the horizon perfectly flat and level from 60 miles. Yeah, the Kármán line. We've got testimony from planetarium directors, Neil deGrasse Tyson, people like that it's nowhere near far enough away from the Earth, the globe that they believe in, to even start seeing any kind of curvature of it. We've got no measurements from the ground to support the claim that there's any curvature to begin with, so I don't have a problem with anything that they're doing or anything they've shown us. Doesn't go against anything that we're talking about.
Well, what do you? So you think they can't see the curve, or they can? What are you saying?
Well, we do get your rank and file globe Earth believers in this chat room every day telling us, yes, you can see the curve from a plane. Yes, you can see it from Blue Origin. But when you look at that, the head proponents of the globe Earth religion, people like Neil deGrasse Tyson.
Why is it upside down? First off.
Yeah, but when you're listening to people like Neil deGrasse Tyson, they're going to tell you that you don't observe any curvature from that height. They're going to tell you that the globe is too big and that's not far away enough from it to actually start to see it as the globe they say it is.
Right? A second, did you mute Penguin? Why'd you mute him?
Somebody did. No, I didn't. I didn't. No, somebody else did.
Wait, so I'm just curious. Who here is actually a flat earther?
All
of you. You. Let's start with you.
Oh my god!
I believe that the Earth is round.
Yeah, but you were on a flat Earth, so doesn't that make you a flat Earther?
Yo.
No, because I believe that the Earth is round. So doesn't that make you believe that the Earth is round?
Well, that would make you a flat Earther in denial.
Okay, so that would make you a round earther in denial.
Well, if you can substantiate that the Earth is a globe, then sure, yeah, it would.
Yeah, after you substantiate the fact that the Earth is round.
I'm going to get higher and mute, but I'm here. I am listening. I might get popped.
Okay, cool. Yeah, man, you're welcome. It's all good. Yeah,
No, I really don't. I want to know who muted Penguin. Why is he muted? What did he do?
I don't know, dude. Somebody else muted him. He was interrupting or something. I don't know.
Well, he was literally quiet.
Well, no, I mean he's like one of these. He's one of these
rounders. These rounders. You should. Do you call them rounders? I want to say. I want to know your lingo. Do you all have lingo in here?
We call him an anti-flat earther. He's one of these guys who sits here and waits for somebody like you to have a conversation with us, and then he starts elbowing in and interjecting.
Okay, he's doing
interference. He's doing interference.
He's doing a psyop. That's what's happening. I think he's stopping the psyop from y'all, and trying to invade my mind with these false narratives of the Earth being flat.
You don't need him to white knight for your mind.
No, but I mean, I respect it.
Why do you need him to save you? Why do you need him to save you?
What do you mean?
All we've done is pretty much all we've done is just ask you questions on why you think what you think. You don't need him to save you from that,
bro. You don't need him to save. But do you understand
it's just the process of you getting to think about what you believe? That's all it is. Why would you need him to rescue? Why would you need him to rescue you from thinking critically about what?
Can I speak?
Yeah, so let me think about this real quick.
Could you wait
since you asked, let me tell him this.
Before talking, Tony?
Let me tell him this. So remember that time that you asked, what do you think about aliens? And I grabbed the word and I tried to give you the meaning of the word and context where it's used at. And he, in the middle of my reply to you, or your question, remember? He interrupted me in the middle of my sentence to complain about me replying to you. And I muted him. Is there any issues with that? So I wanted to finish my reply to you.
Okay, but that's not what he was muted, I don't think. I think he
I muted him because he interrupted me in the middle of my sentence when I was replying to your question.
Jimsy, I understand this is like a private channel. I actually kind of am discovering it. It's the first time in the server. So I understand there's different rules and stuff. I get it that you can mute people and stuff, but I think he was already muted personally, and then you muted him after that.
Buddy, I'm a mod in this channel. I know what happened. I know the chronology, the time of it. When I was replying to you, he wasn't muted. I was speaking. He interrupted me when I was replying to you. Then he spoke more, complained more, and then I muted him because he kept complaining and talking shit in the text about whatever. So
it was nice. I think I'm going to go to another channel. I feel like I've been not intruded. That's the word, maybe. But I hear you. I hear your voices. I appreciate the skepticism.
Yeah.
So
and
I think it's hilarious.
Voices and sound cannot work on a globe, so just to let you know,
voices and sound cannot work. Okay, space doesn't exist, and voices and sound don't.
Yeah, because
and you require a contained environment for this gas pressure that we have around, and the globe doesn't have that.
The rounders. I'm being funny. I understand that y'all are serious, but the rounders. They would be. It would be a good thing to diminish the flat earthers, and try to have your sound quieted and stuff like that, So keep at it. All right. Keep.
Yeah, we won't stop. We've been here for it's been going for like a decade. Yeah, it's not stopping. It will stop if something
See, this is the respect. Like, y'all are so serious about it.
If somebody comes by and proves the globe, that's where it ends, okay?
Why hasn't SpaceX come out with an expose like the Earth is actually flat?
It is.
Okay.
Water's level. Covers the majority of the Earth. It's a level, flat surface.
Yeah. Okay, what about these? Do you think planets exist?
Did you say pronouns?
Well, pronouns do exist, but planets.
Oh, planets. Yeah, they do. Yeah, we can see those. Yeah.
Okay, they're round though, right? Or do you not?
Listen, you can make a separation between the observable phenomena that we label planets, right? We look from the ground that you're standing, and we look up to the sky and the luminaries above, and some of those lights we call them planets, right? Wandering stars. And you gotta separate that observable phenomena from the realist level from the cartoons that people draw and color with crayons and paint with different colors, and then they draw a circle and draw like a blue and green one, and they label it Earth, right? The ground that you're standing on. Those cartoons are not the planets that you look with your eyes and with telescopes. The cartoons, the Earth cartoon, that's different from the observable phenomena that we call wandering stars and planets. Do you get that?
I kind of glossed over. I'm sorry, I'm stoned as fuck. I should actually change my name back to because it used to have High Advisory Board or whatever, like next to my name. I should.
That's
put that,
fine.
though.
Pretty simple. The observable phenomena up in the sky that you can look at with your eyes and with telescopes are not the same as the cartoons that you look like the cartoon of the solar system and the Earth as a circle, blue and green, or whatever. That stuff is different. The cartoon is not the Earth, and the cartoon of the planets is not the observable phenomena. The solar system that you drew, when you were a child and you colored with crayons, that's not the observable phenomena. That's not what it is.
But people have come back and they said that's what I've seen. I've seen it. I saw it and stuff.
Yeah, you never seen the Earth as part of the going around the planets, like you draw it with the crayons. You never seen that.
Like
Nobody has
astronauts,
seen that.
they come back. They've been on the moon. You probably don't believe we've been on the, but
That's
anyways,
Hollywood,
we've been
dude. That's Disney. That's Hollywood, Disney.
Oh, right. Okay. Well,
You know why? You know why? You know why it's Narnia, right?
I don't care. Honestly, but I
that place
that
they tell you they went to, that place cannot exist because we live in a contained environment.
Okay.
Gas pressure, loss of nature.
So it's the movie. It's that movie with where the thing falls down and it's a light, and what's his name plays the character. He's like the Truman Show. Right?
Yeah, Truman Show. What happened? That's another movie. More movies.
No, but that's it. But have you seen the Truman Show?
Yeah, I've seen it.
Yeah, so it's kind of like that, right? Maybe.
What happened?
I'm just like, is that the closest? Like, I feel like that's the closest to like y'all's ideology, maybe that you're stuck in some kind of world that's false.
I mean, I don't know about stock. It's a pretty big world, and I don't know about stock, but.
Well, you think we haven't left the plane? So I mean, like not the airplane. Please don't leave the airplane.
Well, this is the existence that we live in.
It's pressurized. Wait, do you believe in pressurization?
It is pressurized, and the only way you can get pressure is by the gases pushing against the walls of the container, because the gas behavior.
Okay.
If you don't have the container, the walls of the container, that you won't have pressure.
Japan landed something on the moon. You probably don't believe that. So, do you think the world government is lying on you?
Have you seen the?
Bro, have you seen?
Yeah, I've seen it. I've seen the Chinese moon landing. That's worse than Hollywood.
So you think they're all lying to you? Like,
no. Most people believe it just like you do. Your teacher in the classroom, when she tells you, "Little Timmy, you live on a globe," she believes it as well. She's not lying. But you know that the
Japanese haven't.
Listen, when someone shows you a curved Earth, and when you go to Earth and you measure it and it's not curving, that imagery that you saw of curved Earth is already. It's not in reality to be found. It's only in cartoons.
Okay, the curvature of the Earth
It's not
that
there
you
to be found on
see
the Earth.
from an airplane, you would measure that, and you're going to say you would measure it, and you'd be like, oh, there's no difference, so there's no
The
curvature.
subject matter experts that claim Earth is curving, they will tell you themselves that you cannot see curvature even beyond 200 miles up. You can't see curvature, bro. I'm telling you.
Bro, I'm telling you, or they're telling you, and you're like, no, that's not real.
At 200 miles, if you do the math, listen, at 200 miles up, you can only see 3% of the surface of the Earth. 3%.
Okay.
You get that?
I mean,
so imagine an airplane that is only 30,000 feet.
It's small. I feel like
that's pretty small. So the airplane.
If you look at the window, and if you're looking at the window at 200 miles,
that's 30. That's
and you look at the
under
window,
30,000 feet. Think about it. Under 30,000 feet, you only seen a speck of the surface of the Earth. So you wouldn't be able, if it was curving, you wouldn't be able to see the curvature from that altitude. That's what they claim.
Mm-hmm.
The experts of the curvature of the Earth, the ones that claim it. And you're saying that you saw it, even though you never seen it. Nobody has seen it, and nobody has measured it across the surface. A combination of your listen. A combination of what the guy told you earlier, that there is refraction happening between you in the medium, the contained environment of the airplane, the multiple windows that are between you and the outside. There might be some distortion there from the image that you're looking, right? And your confirmation bias that you, before you got on the airplane, you believe you live in this spinning water ball of impossibilities, right? Coincidence. And then when you got in the airplane and you said, I'm gonna see the curvature of the Earth, and you saw this little distortion, and you confirm your own bias, and you believed that you saw the curvature of the Earth, even though it's impossible to see the curvature of the Earth from that altitude.
Okay. Do you? I don't know. I'm not to be.
Do you got what I said? Did you get it? Do you kind of comprehend what I said?
I did comprehend what you said.
Okay,
it's confirmation bias. Whenever you look over there, you see. I get it. Okay. Bigger question is the governments all gathering together to organize and to create literature and education about a globe?
No.
Is that you think it's all a
belief, the culture? No, bro. Most people in the government, they believe it just like you. They're not lying. People that believe it, they're not lying to you. They believe it too. There might be some people lying, but not all the government like you're thinking.
Okay. Well, look, I'm going to move on to a different VC. It's been enjoyable. It actually has. I appreciate the conversation.
Likewise.
Continue on, I guess. And
you have a good one. Come back later and ask more questions.
I will. You know what? Whenever I have a feeling of how do I joyousness?
So listen, just as a recap,
I will come back here too. Yeah.
Okay, you're gonna come back. Just as a recap, no curvature of the Earth been measured. You haven't observed that. You didn't demonstrate it. No rotation of the ground you're standing. Listen, no rotation of the ground you're standing on. So no curvature, no movement of the ground you're standing on, and no gas pressure without a container. The globe fails on all of those claims. Those fundamentals of the globe are not there in the real world. Only on the cartoons, only on the writings on the book. That's the only place that you're gonna see that stuff. That's it.
Writings in the book. Got it. All right.
Yep.
It's been a pleasure. Au revoir.
Have a good one. Take care.
A necessary antecedent relationship, consequent relationship. You'd be the one special pleading, saying that there's cases where that's not required, right? When all instances involve, right, where we can create gas pressure, require surface for the gas to press upon. You're saying that's not required, right? In this one instance. In this certain circumstance, you're saying it's not needed without demonstration. You're the one special pleading. I'm not.
I never said that it's not required for some cases. I'm saying that it's not required for all cases, and that there's no difference between the difference in high and low pressure on Earth, as I showed in the screenshot, and difference between like pressure on Earth and like a vacuum.
They're not separate volumes. They're not separate volumes. It's the one singular system experiencing pressure differentials within the one volume.
But this is what I was calling. This is what I was calling the special pleading. But then you're trying to flip it around on me by stating something that I never even said.
Well, there wouldn't be any point in you even bringing this up if you weren't defending that side.
At what point did I create some special rules in which, like, high pressure cannot exist next to a low pressure? Like, you're the one making up the special rule that something has to be part of a bigger volume in order to have a difference in pressure in it.
No, he's not creating that rule, though. He's acknowledging gas behavior within the ways that are demonstrated as, right? And you're saying that there's another way of causing the gas pressure, even though you haven't demonstrated that other way. The only way you can demonstrate the gas pressure is within a contained environment. You're saying there's another way. Can you show that other way? Can you show those other variables?
Yeah, how does a barometer work?
Tell us. How does it work without the container? Without the container. Come on.
Does the pressure need to be inside or outside of a container? Because if you're placing the gas pressure outside of the container, then you don't need a container.
Isn't a barometer doesn't it require a container? The barometer.
Yes,
well, it'd be a
the pressure that you're measuring is outside of the container, and the surface is not the outside of a container. It's not the container that's surrounding the gas pressure that you're measuring.
The barometer is an example of the contained pressure.
So
it's against
you can measure. You can measure pressure.
You can't measure it without a surface, a physical surface to press upon. Because that's what the definition of gas pressure. Right? Gas pressure is caused. Yeah, right.
But look, all the examples that are given of gas pressure pushing on the walls of the container are from inside out, not from outside in.
So what you're
measuring with a barometer is from it's outside of the barometer.
What's the definition of gas pressure?
You don't need a container, though, to
What's the definition
to do a barometric pressure test.
What's the definition of gas pressure? How do we solve for it in an equation? What is PV equals nRT?
Are you trying to refer to that gas pressure is the amount of pressure being exerted on
the volume? V for volume, the size of the container.
Like I don't know how you cannot see your own contradiction.
Sorry, there's no contradiction here. We're just pointing out the cause of gas pressure. It appears to be the force that the gas exerts upon the walls of its container. Question is, how the hell do you have gas pressure if there's nothing physical to press against?
What does a barometer measure something outside of a barometer, and what is outside of a barometer is contained by what?
Yeah, a container. We have gas pressure. What's the
container?
What's the cause?
But do you actually need a container for a barometer to measure the pressure outside?
Excuse me, we're talking about you measuring gas pressure. Gas pressure is caused by something, isn't it?
Yeah.
What is the cause of gas pressure?
The cause of gas pressure
It's its
is
weight.
a
The
large
cause of
amount
gas
of...
pressure is the weight of
Dude,
the
I
then
was trying
gas.
to say. I was trying to tell him. The cause of gas pressure is the amount of mass within a single, like within a certain area.
So I'll educate you. Gas pressure is caused by force over area, as in PV equals nRT. The gas expands to fill the limitation of volume and presses against that limitation of volume, and thus is under pressure. What
That's a
happens to the
misquote.
gas? Pardon? Would you like the citation?
That's a misquote.
Would you like the citation?
I have the citation.
Sorry, there are many citations, dude. Would you like mine? Let me ask you this. How do you have gas pressure without a physical boundary to press against?
You can have an object.
No, we're talking about gas pressure. Please answer the question. How do you have gas pressure without a container?
Does a barometer... Look.
No, that's
a barometer.
pressure.
A barometer measures pressure.
That's
Do you need a
measuring
container?
pressure.
Do you need a container to measure?
Excuse me. I want you to cause pressure, not measure it.
What?
So, are you being?
I'm not going to debate with someone so, like. I'm not going to debate this.
Excuse me. I don't like it when people piss down my back and tell me it's raining. You, sir, are bullshitting. You're saying it's a misquote. Excuse me.
No, I'm telling you to get an umbrella, man.
Really?
I'm just telling you to get an umbrella, and you're just saying like, "Oh yeah, I think it's raining," but someone else is pissing down your back. I'm sorry, dude. I want you.
Excuse me. Thank you. You need to tell me the cause of gas pressure, dude. That's what you need to do. Please don't bring up a fucking barometer again.
Yeah, I can't believe you said barometer, bro. Like, really?
It's like a fucking thermometer causes temperature.
Yeah, that's about as stupid. He might as well have just blown on his hand.
He doesn't want to talk now that he's been shown up.
Oh, yeah, facts.
Coward.
Yeah, facts.
At the expense of
and I don't disagree with you, man. I agree with you on this.
Okay, if you agree,
why would they? How does the shape
hang on a
of the
minute,
Earth?
please. I'm still talking. You see.
Okay, I apologize.
If they agree with me, if you agree with me, then you understand that they're amassing wealth and they're controlling the human race. That we're under tyranny. They're making medicines that kill us, for example, and that's all I'll say on that topic matter. You understand? So they're in control. They're in control.
But Jin, how, if they're making these medicines that kill us, how does that factor into the reality that
they're under indoctrination? That's why they're in space. The Earth isn't a globe. We're actually a flat Earth. There's going to be a lot of angry people, and they're going to be wanting redress. So at the end of the day, that's why they want to keep it under control. Now they've gone too far with it as well. Now they've got to keep the indoctrination going. People like me and Jedi and Gemsy and the rest of the fellas in this server, all of them, we are the people who are going to wake up the other people to this fact, and that's why we do this. That's why it's very important. Okay?
I can appreciate that.
Okay.
So
good.
So say that you were talking to someone who completely swallowed the pill, right? Completely bought into all of the indoctrination, and now you're trying to wake them up from that.
Yeah.
So that's me, right?
Well, yeah. I think in your case it's willful, because what's to discuss here, ladies and gentlemen, in the YouTube live stream, Rumble, Ruskin, Twitter X, and whatever. Yeah. It's either it's a spherical ball or it's level, and all you have to do is measure it. They've given us the numbers as well. the numbers they've given us, the so-called experts, so we can actually go and validate it. When we go and validate those numbers, we can't validate it. We're finding extended horizontally everywhere.
I completely appreciate that, and I'm not trying to argue with it. I'm coming at this from the point of view that I'm wrong and that you're correct.
Yeah. Right.
So I'm waking up now.
Yeah.
How does my life change? What is
okay? Well, it depends on you and your will to live and what you want to achieve. That's up to you. That's it. So I can't really speak for you, but what I will say is this: I would hope that humanity, having found out that the governments have deceived them and they found out about all the other deceptions, they would want to remove that entity that has ruined their lives thus far, and then go back to living on earth and coexist as God would have as God has intended us to be doing. He didn't intend us to be making bombs and destroying ourselves and devaluing ourselves with money. Because when he created the earth, money didn't exist. We could live on this earth for free. We just had to use our labor, that would be our energy, to toil the soil, to plant the seeds, to sustain ourselves. That's your labor there. And then the reward is the vegetables you eat. That's your payment. That's it. You are the currency, as it were. Okay? So that's what I would hope that humanity would want to do. Realizing the indoctrination and the negative parts of it. Get rid of that. Keep the positives to aid humanity and aid nature where we can. And then move on. Move forward.
I definitely appreciate the sentiment of that. I agree with the idea of, returning to a sustainable lifestyle. Getting rid of all of the garbage and such that we've been, surrounding ourselves with.
Yeah.
But
for example, we can get rid of all chemicals can go. So now we're using hemp as our source for materials and resource to build with, to clothe ourselves with, and it's a food as well, for example.
Yeah.
And the experts have said there are 500,000 ways to utilize hemp on this earth. So there you are.
I'm sure there is. Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you guys feel about being useless?
I think the issue is.
How do you feel about your family not talking to you? Yeah, how do you feel about your family not speaking to you, like kind of being pretty useless at life? Like, how do you guys feel about that?
My family does.
That's a wild assumption. That's a wild assumption. You don't know me from Adam. You don't know me from Adam. You've heard me talk about my family in the way that they're flat earthers. We've enjoyed holidays, hiking, biking, mountain bike, trekking. Does that sound like I'm divorced from my family?
I think he left.
Yeah. What a fool he was. But ladies and gentlemen, that's what they do. That was a jealous individual, number one. Number two, he hated the fact that what I was saying was so true that it's waking you up, because that's what I'm doing here. Everything I've said has been factual, promotional, uplifting, inspirational. That's what we're doing here. Okay? The opposite of that is your lifestyle, living with the government system. Okay? So, and I know I'm 63 years of age. I want the best for every single human being on earth. I will put myself last, so you get it first. That's me. Okay? So if I was your leader, let's say, your presidente, right now, I wouldn't take a single penny of your money until I've achieved what you need me to achieve for you. Once I've done that, you pay me at the end of the year. So I get no money as a presidente of your country. I don't get a peseta until I've achieved what you need to be going on in your lives. And once that's done, after that year, it will be a member of the public you are my boss, that you will pay me. You are my boss. I'm not your boss.
Jin, I think that's very admirable.
That's it. That's how it has to work.
But
that's integrity.
My question is, do you think that that's unique? Do you think people can have that same sort of mindset without believing in the same things that you do?
Oh, yeah, of course they can, yeah. Because right is right and wrong is wrong. So if I say to the public now, look, you've elected me to be your president, and I know you've got your needs. You've seen our manifesto, and we've seen what your needs are. Together, you make the final decisions, and we're going to prioritize what's going to be done, and then we're going to be ticking each one off as we go along. Together, ladies and gentlemen. So, and the reason it's going to be together, because you're going to have access to my progress and my performance. You see, that's what it's all about. Remember, I've got no money coming in at the moment. I'm achieving your needs. Simple.
So in that same vein, you said, you don't necessarily need to be on the same page as you to have those same sort of ideologies.
Yes, because it can come. Yeah, it can come within. Right. It's definitely within, isn't it?
So why is believing in flat Earth necessary to advance these things?
Chardsy, stop. If we have to tell you it's not a belief one more time, I'm likely to hit the red button on you.
Hey, I'm not trying to be aggressive, man. I'm just having a conversation with
It's not a belief. It is measured zero curvature. So if it's not curved, what is it?
Okay, I'm not arguing with you, man.
Chardsy, very simple. If it's not curved, what is it?
Yeah.
It must be flat.
Right.
Good boy.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I'm not arguing with you, man. I don't know where you came out with this.
But the problem is, it's always your ideology, your belief.
Well,
I'm going to spell it out for you.
To the same extent, don't you believe? Don't you say the same thing about what other people believe? It's a belief.
Yes, that's correct, because it genuinely is a belief.
Right.
It is.
Okay, so I'm not trying to be offensive. I'm just coming at you from the place.
You can hear me talk. Look, you can hear me talking, and you just don't want me to finish. Look, with flat Earth, It doesn't require believing. You go out, you confirm, you know. So when you refer to the flat
I'm not
earthers,
arguing with you.
Again, I'm just nearly there. You should say this. The flat earthers know the earth is flat. They know it's flat. That's what you got to say.
No, I believe that flat earthers believe. I'm sorry, that they know the Earth is flat.
Yeah, that's right. You should know that. You should know that. We know that.
I do.
Okay.
I'm not arguing. I haven't argued about that.
Yeah. So drop the belief word. Don't use the word
I
belief.
apologize. It's just my my language, my dialect.
It's fine. We can just move on.
It's fine,
Carry on with
yeah.
what you're saying.
I'm not trying to insult anybody.
No, okay. And remember this. Remember what Carl Sagan said. Remember what Carl Sagan said, okay? And the reason why he said it was because he felt, and remember, Carl Sagan and his field of astronomy doesn't use the scientific method at all, but he said science is becoming a religion and it's beginning to bamboozle people, basically what he said. And people are ending up believing. And a belief without confirmation or validation is a mistake. And that's Carl Sagan, the man who was an astronomer.
I agree with that. Yeah. I think that a lot of people do just blindly believe in what's expected of them. You know?
Yeah. So back to trying to live on Earth as God would intended. Good pair of trousers and that. Nice snowboard, second hand. I don't have to buy brand new. Bought it second hand. I'm the loudest fucking flat earther snowboarder you'll ever meet whilst I'm snowboarding.
Yeah. Yeah, good boots, good jacket.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we've all made our fashion choices. What are we talking about?
We're just talking about. We're just having a conversation. We're not debating anything. We're just talking. We're just having a conversation.
Your question was, why does flat Earth matter?
No,
no.
My question is not.
That's what it was. That's what it was. It was
because I think I understand why flat Earth matters.
Okay, good. I'm glad you understand it. Then. It's important.
My question is more specifically like. It's difficult to put into words, so I apologize.
That's
but
right.
I understand where you're coming from.
Good.
And I'm not trying to argue. I'm not trying to debate anybody.
No, the Earth is flat. It's demonstratable and it's provable and it's out there. Yeah.
Right. And I'm not arguing that.
Right.
But my question, I guess, stems from like why how does this come to be that so many people are convinced otherwise?
Because
but like I said, we told you that.
Hold tight.
Yeah.
Because we all got taught this as soon as we came into the world. It's everywhere. It's the modern consensus, right, that's been put into our education system over time. For example, the education system pretty much around the world after the 1950s, and that's not that long ago, started teaching this. So the simple answer is because we all got taught this. That's why everybody believes it.
And I can appreciate that. But I guess my wider question is for what purpose? Like,
why would they lie?
Why? Yeah, exactly. Like,
you've been here long enough to know that really isn't going to give you a satisfactory answer because we're going to have to start speculating.
I know. We don't know. And I have to
just put it this way.
I do like speculation.
Well, okay. Just put it this way, right? The majority have a strong religiously held belief system, right, about the universe. And then there's people that want to exploit that belief.
Yeah. See? Exploitation. Follow the money.
I don't see how you can exploit somebody's belief in this regard.
Really?
You can.
Really?
You can. But someone wants to
hold on. Look at the majority. Sorry, Jin. Look at the majorities of the religions around the world. Let's take, for example, the Muslims. All right? Now, these people will die for their God. All right? They will be at war with anybody, even themselves. Now, that, as a sociological and psychological weapon, is huge. When you can control people's ideology and based on that ideology, get them to act in a certain way.
This has been done for thousands of years.
No, and I really do agree with that. I just don't see how convincing somebody that the shape of the Earth is one way or another is going to get them to blow themselves up.
No, but
No,
this
that's
answer.
not what we mean. That's not what we mean. No.
I was just using that as an example. We can speak about why they would potentially lie about what the Earth is, because let's not forget they tell us how the Earth got here. In actual fact, we get a whole creation. We're going to start going into religion in a minute. A creation narrative of how everything got here. Reality springs into existence for no apparent reason. Nothing becomes everything. Devoid of a creator, that intelligence comes later. That will come when everything sprang into existence, and for some reason, after lots and lots of time, information starts to form for some bloody reason, and then we have biological life forms and consciousness. So they get to give us a creation narrative, and in this way, it's completely against the idea that you need a creator. There's one potential reason why they would lie, using an ideology that you don't need intelligence to create.
Right, and it's not that it's necessarily that anyone's trying to convince anyone of anything, right? Unless that they truly believe that, and they want people to also to believe, be on board with them about that, because they honestly believe something, right? I think what you're conflating when I said exploitation with people trying to convince somebody of something. Remember, I said there was already a commonly held belief system in place, which then others came along and saw the opportunity to exploit. Okay, so they don't need convincing; they're already convinced. And then some people come along and say, well, let's see how we can take advantage of this commonly held belief system. And then they'll do that by pretending to go to space and take pictures and provide you services that they, through means that they aren't really doing, etc., right? It's not that anyone's trying to convince anybody. They were already convinced. And all it took was a guy in a toga 2,000 years ago to measure some shadows.
No, and I understand where you're coming from. It's just like, from my perspective, I don't see how seeing a guy on TV go up to space, like allegedly, I don't see how that convinces me to do something. I don't see how that changes my...
What are you trying to tell us for? That's the reason, Chardsy.
I'm not trying to tell you anything.
Stop and think. Just stop. The reason you're in here defending it is what they're trying to explain to you the cause is. The effect, you in here defending something you don't even know or understand or can verify. That is the effect. The cause is what you're talking about.
If I can speak.
Yeah, please go ahead.
Okay, I'm not trying to defend anything, okay? I don't really care.
So why are you here?
I'm here to understand what you believe and why you believe it.
So why do you keep pushing your globe narrative?
Yeah, well, we don't do believing.
I'm not pushing anything. And I apologize if my language is offensive.
Yeah, what you're trying to say is you want to know why we hold the positions we hold.
Exactly.
Because we're holding a position, not through belief. It's not a belief system.
And like I said, I apologize. I'm not trying to offend you. I want to understand why...
You hold the positions you hold.
Exactly.
Right.
And that's really all I'm here for. I'm not trying to convince anybody.
The answer is quite simple, because it's the right thing to do.
And I appreciate that, because I think doing the right thing is the best thing that you can do.
Exactly. That's what God put us on this earth to be doing. Yeah.
Sometimes the position we do because of the earth.
Yeah.
Okay. Exactly. And look, I'm not trying to argue again. And I'm not trying to offend anybody, so I apologize.
It's not as simple as that, Chardsy. You're making it sound more complicated than it really is, right? You're making it sound more complicated than it really is. It's just simply because of this, because the Earth's flat.
Yeah,
okay, but you have to come at it from my perspective. I don't understand. You're saying it is because of the way it is. I don't understand the way it is. Okay, so that's why I'm here.
But you agree? No, hang on a second, ladies and gentlemen. The guy has agreed with us with everything that I've been saying about the government and how they're misleading us and how the scientists have misled us. He understands that because he says, "I appreciate that. I understand." So if you appreciate, it means you understand. You're going around in circles. Can you stop that, please?
No, I agree with what you're saying.
Oh, I understand now. Okay.
No, I agree with what you're saying. I don't understand how you came to the conclusions. I agree with your conclusions.
Yeah.
I just don't understand how you came to them.
If we could all talk over each other, that'd be fucking great.
Hold on.
Yeah.
May
Now I've
I
got
jump
three
in for a
people
second
talking for each other.
Yeah, sorry about that. My
Can I
bad.
jump in for a second? Is that okay?
Hold on. No. Let the person finish, and when they've finished, you can jump in. You don't jump in halfway through that fucking sentence. Shut up. Carry on, Chuck.
Sorry, my bad.
Yeah, so all I'm trying to say is, like, look, I'm not here to argue. I'm here to understand. That's the only reason I'm here.
Awesome.
And if I come off as ignorant or offensive, I apologize, but that's not the reason I'm here.
Okay. Right. The other guy. What did you want? The guy who said, "Can I just jump in?"